The music industry has changed forever. And when we add AI into the mix, we don't know whether it's going to get better or worse for creatives. And there's a lot of massive artists that are actually expressing what they believe about this ever-changing industry.
This is not the same music industry that you grew up on. I am very, very concerned about the state of the music industry or whether the music industry even exists. So the music industry, let's talk about what it is and how it's changed completely and why you should care if you're getting into music just now as a producer, beat maker, composer, artist. This is the key thing to understand, what the actual industry is made up of. Now, in the past, we talked a lot about CD sales, vinyl sales, cassette sales. Now we talk about streaming, and that's where everything has completely changed in the music industry. Streaming is set up for you as an artist, a producer, composer, to make $0, to make as little as possible, to keep you in no profit and for no margin to happen in your business. Okay, that's how it's set up. They do not want you to win. It is 1000% true. Everything you hear everywhere online about streaming and how it pays shit, Snoop Dogg talking about it, it's true, it's true, it's true. These companies do not want to pay you any money. Why are we still being sold on the idea that you can become a rock star or a pop star or a rap star? It's simple psychology 101. People will work very hard for money and to make a living. People will work to death for recognition and credit. Now, because the music industry understands this, the labels understand this, now the social media platforms understand this. They get it. They know basic psychology and they pander to the low-hanging fruit. It is the perfect plan. Get everybody on TikTok that is a musician and an artist. Give them a little reach. Push them, right? Give them a little recognition. Give them that cookie. Let them taste that cookie. Oh, that's a good cookie. You gotta like, you gotta comment, you gotta save, you gotta share. Oh, look at you. Look at your dopamine receptors lighting up. You're a pop star. You're a rock star. Yeah, keep making content, keep doing it, you can do it.
I was going to let the entire video play out here, but I can't lie, this is getting a bit deep. You feel me? But what he's saying so far is the reality of the game. Look, the music industry has changed forever ever since streaming came into play, and I've made multiple videos about this, about how the whole streaming thing, it benefited only one person, and that one person or one entity was the music labels. You got to realize that first, they were making a killing, enough to not only make money for themselves, but also to pay out creatives, etc. But when it now became a thing where piracy actually came into play, and, you know, people would just start ripping out music, etc., and the internet came into play as well, once streaming came into play, it disrupted absolutely everything. And it's only recently that music labels have now started to be able to start making a buck. But in terms of what he's now saying, in terms of the human psychology aspect of it, and how, for example, labels just want you to basically chase a carrot, you know, like they're dangling a carrot right in front of you and they expect you to just keep on riding and jumping, etc. And in reality, what's the reason why a lot of us even got into the game in the first place? For some of us, is the passion for music. For some of us, it's also allowing that passion for music to be recognized by a lot of other people. And then for some of us, it's also about becoming famous and uber superstar, etc. And these are all levels that are all associated to, you know, self-worth and similar things that this guy's actually talking about, human psychology, where every single person is going to work hard to get recognized for what they inherently believe they're special at. And it's actually kind of sad to hear that that's getting exploited, but in reality, it's just it's the case, right? But I'm very intrigued to hear what he actually has to say, man, because he's going in. Like, I thought it was going to be a short clip, then we respond to it at the end, but madness.
Do it. And at the end of the day, you can't even pay your rent. You got to move out of that house, move out of that studio, move back in with mom and dad. You just can't afford to chase this dream. Now, if you got this far, you have to understand the dream is real and the payoff is big. It's serious and it is very real. But if you personally go towards that cookie and you're constantly fighting to get something to go viral on TikTok and you're making music for TikTok, for Instagram, for that cookie, for that dopamine trigger, you'll never, ever, ever make it in music. For a long career, sustainable career in music, you have to truly love making music.
And it's facts. At the end of the day, in any game that you're in, any career that you're in, you have to have some, even if it's small, even if it's just this small, you need to have something that keeps you in it, a reason why that keeps you in it for long enough. Because like I always say, if you're looking at the music industry solely from a financial aspect, unfortunately, you're in the wrong game, man. Like, you might as well go and build like a B2B business or going into corporate or something like that where you're guaranteed to make money depending on how much time you're actually putting into it. With creativity, such as music, like it's unpredictable. You know, you could make a big bag in month 1, all of a sudden in month 2, you're not getting paid for something. Or you can produce a song for the biggest artists in the world and not get paid for it for 6 months, 8 months, or even years after. Some of the biggest producers, in fact, like they come to the internet, they come on podcasts and they start talking about the fact that they haven't been paid for some pieces of work. And you're just thinking in your head like, like a massive producer haven't been paid for this. What chance do I actually have? You know what I'm saying? So if you're in it solely for them type of reasons, which is obviously the clout, etc., you can't necessarily blame it when the game kind of treats you like that because you're playing into the game. Sometimes you have to look at what's going on and have to figure out, okay, how can I actually elevate past it and ensure that I'm capitalizing on my small percentage that I'm able to take out of this big pie. Music is a very big industry. Entertainment is $1 trillion industry. You got to realize that. If you were literally just to take a 0.0 percentage out of it by carving out your fan base and actually catering for them, building communities and doing all those type of things, then trust me, you are going to be able to actually win in the long term. And that is what we want you to do and want you to achieve as a fellow creative.
There is an AI R&B artist who just signed a multi-million-dollar deal and has a top 5 R&B album, and the person is doing none of the work. I think you guys think that AI can just be the cover for something, which some people can use. They can make an AI cover. AI can also make the entire fucking song. It can sing the entire song. It can make the entire beat. You can have a song that's one type of song and say, AI, make this into a country song, and it'll literally rewrite, re-sing in a country voice and redo the entire thing. And they don't have to credit anyone.
Now, as someone that's into the AI industry, I understand the powers of AI when utilized correctly. But when you now start looking at AI and how it's going to impact creatives, it's very, very scary. Because even before I got into AI and started utilizing it on a daily basis, I'm a creative. Foundationally. I remember the first time I ever went to one of these platforms like Suno AI, for example, and I saw that you could literally just type in a prompt and it will generate an entirely finished product. It was kind of scary, I'm gonna be real. Especially as a producer where for me, I'm a bit fast when it comes to making beats, I'm not gonna lie. But it takes me, let's say, 15 to 30 minutes to come up with an entirely finished product in terms of a beat, right? And I know other producers that it takes them maybe 1 to 2 hours to do the same thing. But it's not to take away from them because some of them are way better than me, right? But in saying this though, I can literally type in a prompt into Suno AI or any of these AI platforms, and within 2 minutes, it will come up with an entirely fully produced, mixed, written type of song. And it sounds good. That's the scare. Like, it sounds good. Now, just so that we know, this AI avatar that just got signed for $3 million apparently is a real person and goes by the name of Talisha Nikki Jones. And she's a poet, so she literally typed in all of her poems and stuff like that into the AI, and it came out with this. But even in saying that, it's still a bit scary.
I have no idea what you're going through, but I need you to listen to this album. If you're a girl child or a child that grew up without a father, if you have had friendships lost, if you've lost loved ones, if your relationships are not working, whatever the pain that you are going through, I don't care what pain it is, listen to this album. Listen to it. Most importantly, please listen to the song, How Was I Supposed to Know? Come back to me. Tell me how you feel. And then send me 1 rand as a thank you. That is all I want.
Now, as you can see, this AI avatar is really impacting people in a certain type of way. It's making people react and support whatever's going on and whatever's being sung by, again, a computer. Now, despite the fact that this is scary, the few questions that I do have is, what does this truly mean for creatives that are coming up? Is it going to disrupt them entirely and actually take away the ability to songwrite and actually be successful as a songwriter, the ability to produce, the ability to engineer, the ability to just be a creative? Or are we going to simply rely on robots and computers and AI software to literally do everything for us now? Now, a separate question I do have is that with a lot of the comments that I keep on seeing, a lot of the people seem to resonate with what these AI avatars are actually saying. Like, for example, girl, I listened to Miscarriage Blues and I thought of my mum and cried. And you got another one saying 3 months later, I still listen to it. I have been glued. How many artists can positively say that their fans are still listening to the stuff even a week after they've dropped, let alone 3 months? How was I supposed to know? Thanks for making me cry, Zaka. Now, of course, Zaka is the creative that recommend everyone should actually go and listen to the song, right? But the AI is making people cry out here, bro. It constantly makes me question how artists and songwriters, and I know it's going to be a bit controversial, but are we doing enough to evoke this human emotion that is going to want to make our fans stay with the humans rather than actually going to the AI? What do I mean by this? It's been very, very long since I've scrolled through comments and seen that many people actually be in the comments and say, oh, it's evoked this emotion, it's reminding me of this, it's giving me this feeling, I love it so much, and actually big it up. Typically what I see now is, oh, this video is so amazing, I love the style, oh, you look sexy, oh, and it's talking about everything other than just the music. So it truly makes me wonder, like, have we lost the art of connecting with each other when it comes to creativity? Like, have we completely lost our art? And is this the reason as to why people are having this type of reaction to AI avatars within the music game? For all my producers, engineers, songwriters, and creatives just in general, this is something that I want you to really think about. And just let me know down in the comments what you think about this.
Music video tomorrow.
Yeah.
Spend about 5-10 bag, get a rental like a Merc, Audi, get models there. To an impressionable 13 to 15-year-old,
Yeah.
it looks like, yo, you've made it in life. You're a millionaire now. You've got this, you've got the cars, you've got the money, you've got the money. But then you realize that you actually lost money to that. You paid. First of all, you've paid for all of that.
Yeah.
And secondly, you're probably signed to a label which takes 60-70% of your earnings. And if you only make 2-3 bag royalty,
Yeah.
which is even a stretch. Think about how saturated the music industry is now.
Yeah.
You're only really walking away with a few bills. Invest in all of that. And it's like,
it's long time though, isn't it?
it's very difficult to actually make it. And even some of the artists who you say, oh, they've made it, they've fallen off, they've whatever. You realize some of these artists are in crazy debts.
When you factor all the things that guy literally just said, you start to think to yourself, is it even worth being in the music game? With all the expenses that you're paying, with all the things, especially as an artist, that these guys actually have to fork out, and the image and the lifestyle they actually have to portray in front of their fan base, you're thinking in your head, damn, like, is this even worth it? But what I've also realized, it ties back into what I literally just said a few minutes ago, where I was saying that when you look at the comments and you look at what fans are actually saying, they're now appreciating everything other than just the music. Does music actually matter to people anymore? Is it still driving people towards your songs? Is it still making people feel a type of way? Because whenever I hear what people are saying about their favorite artists in music, it's never about the music anymore. And that perception that a lot of rappers and a lot of people in the hip hop space especially have created has led to a part of this, led to the fact that at the end of it, you seem to be rich and successful, but in reality, you're only making a few bills, like the guy actually said, off of each song. It doesn't make any sense, you know what I'm saying? So when you're creating music, unless you're telling a story of what you've actually been through, music has changed, man. No one wants to even listen to all that gangster stuff and anymore anyways. Like, we all want to be in love and, you know what I mean, listen to some Afro beats and some free step and you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, the game right now is a bit tired, can't lie.
Look, okay, let me put it like this, yeah? For every song that is released out in the world, there is 100 royalty points on a record, right? It's how radio will pay the writers, creatives, and the labels. It's how a song has its worth.
Mhm.
And the wildest thing to me is with 100 royalty points, a songwriter is entitled to, ask me, guess.
3 points.
Like maybe 10, 20?
0.
0. Songwriters get no points. And if you put your foot down and ask for a point, you're being difficult. We don't do points for writers. La 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 la. I spent so much time with so many incredible songwriters with top 10 freaking Billboard hits and they can't pay rent.
That's
What?
mad.
And it's evil. And you want to know what's worse? Record labels are taking 80 points for marketing.
They don't even have to do that much marketing because they're signing people that have built their own following on TikTok. So they're not.
I'm going to be a broken record.
And this is what I mean in terms of the whole record label system and why I always push for people to actually go either independent or look for distribution or something that's going to be more in favor towards you as a creative, because this doesn't make any sense. Taking 80% of a song simply for just threatening some capital, doing some marketing, which in reality TikTok does. And in reality, what are they actually doing? Besides, obviously, the radio plugin is totally understandable. Like, they dominate the radio and they can get you into maybe Spotify playlists, etc., which they're going to take a majority of the cut anyways of. But when it comes to, you know, actually running up the numbers, let's be real. There's been so many videos and so many controversial statements getting put out of like streaming farms, for example, where they'll play your music in different streaming farms just to inflate your numbers. And outside of that, what's the next step that they actually do? They run paid marketing as well. These are all things that you can do yourself. Well, besides the stream farm, don't do that because your music could get taken down. Do you know what I mean? But running paid ads, getting your own fan base, and getting people to actually pay you direct. Doing the direct-to-consumer model is always going to win in this game, my opinion. And I believe that songwriters, they need more, man. Like, it's not fair. It's genuinely not fair. You're talking about the fact that these guys are writing songs, they're creating the lyrics for the songs, they're putting their emotions, they're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into the song, and they can't even get 1 point on the master. That's going to allow them to pay their rent. That's going to allow them to do this and that. The music game, like, it's just, it's treacherous, man. It's treacherous. And that's the reason why I always encourage people to understand the game, because if you don't understand the game you're in, you will end up falling subject to the same thing that everyone's falling subject to. And the fact that now AI can actually write and do this and do that and do this, yeah, it's getting even more scary, man. But like I always say, if you have your ducks in a row and you understand the business and you're doing it because you have a big reason why, then there is some hope for you.
The music business is going through a cleanse. I think we're about 70% down. You know, RCA just laid off a whole lot of people Thursday.
I just heard that today.
Right? They just laid a lot of people Thursday because they know their shit is ending and they're hoping they get one win so they could cash out. Last lick. I just think we live in a different time. I just think that we almost done. It's going to be a lot more firing.
And the market share shows that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because independents
have grown up. Now they actually have more market share than Universal.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's weird.
Well,
right?
well,
that's my point. So guess what? If you're working at a label and you like your little cushy job, every time the numbers come out and indies grow more and more, labels start realizing we don't need you.
As the music industry goes through a cleanse, you as a creative, you also need to empower yourself and make sure they're taking things into your control. Yes, we have AI now starting to get signed to record labels, which is, again, like I always say, scary. And yes, you have a lot of people that are blowing up that in reality, I don't believe everyone that blows up and becomes famous should be in that position. But who am I to actually, you know, decide and stuff like that? It's also the reason as to why the music industry is just tired, man. Guys, I will give anyone like a bag right now if they can name me like 10 solid songs that's come out this year. Solid songs in the UK, in the US, or even Africa, for example. Yes, you have like maybe 1 or 2 in each, whatever, but if we're talking about 10 that you can say actually made this year and define it, you're going to remember next year and in the years to come, etc. Like, I can't. Maybe off the top of my head, maybe 3, 5. If I'm lucky, maybe 6. But again, it's all subjective, right? But something that we can all collectively say that, look, in 2029, we're all going to play these songs. It's going to be very, very hard to pick that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you look at, let's say, the 2010s or the 2000s, for example, even the 90s, the 80s, etc., you have songs that are just bountiful. It's just amazing. Just bare songs, bare. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's interesting, man. It's interesting. I know this is a bit of a, hope it wasn't too negative or anything like that, but we're just seeing different perspectives of how people are seeing the change of the industry at the current moment, from the, you could say, the entry levels where you're creative, all the way to even the executive levels. The music industry is changing forever. And as you watch this video, I just want you guys to educate yourself, be aware of what's going on, but at the same time, take full advantage of it as well, right? And yeah, man, if you enjoyed this content, please, guys, make sure to like, share it with someone else, share it with a fellow creative, and make sure to follow because we create a lot of content just like this. I'll see you guys tomorrow.